The wind passes over the party as they sail through the skies. Their brand new airship, stolen is a strong word, but stolen from the Wizard of Oz Island, is perfect underneath their feet. Wood, steel, and raw power thrumming with energy as they soar through the skies, held aloft by numerous propellers, fins, magical spells, and a big ol' balloon filled with something. We're not quite sure what that something is yet. Still, the jury is still out. But whatever it is, it's light.
We'll figure it out
Yep,
eventually.
eventually. Pirated, plundered, earned by right of conquest, but stolen? Nah. So, as our
Oh, it's a
brave
strong word.
as our brave heroes are sailing on this vessel, the lower decks filled with all of their broken and wounded and injured followers, they start to wonder, where exactly are we going to go next? And it is with that question that I bid you all welcome once again to Prism Blade Gaming's production of Seas of Saltmarsh, Episode 8, the epic crossover episode.
I save.
Thanks. So, my name is Hawk. As always, I am the Dungeon Master here. That means I master your dungeons. Also joining us today are Shinzo,
Hello, thank you all for joining.
Quinn,
Yo.
Ryan,
Hey, hey, hey.
Shun,
Hey.
uh, the Bean,
Greetings.
and Dingo.
Hawk actually will master your dungeons for a small fee. Link in the doobly-doo below.
That I actually am available for hire. If you need a professional DM, I will suck your dick. There you go. There is no Shun, only Helica.
True. You got that right.
So, the question at the end of our little intro actually does stand for the party. Your your units and your followers are pretty messed up. So, while you probably could chase down Azura Thunderflare to whatever island she is heading towards next,
We need to recuperate.
you need to recuperate. So, the question is here. Do you want to go recuperate back at Saltmarsh? Or do you
Um,
want to continue on and start fighting?
well, I did say myself, so yeah, I do want to go back and get more men and, uh, you know, give proper burials to those that died.
Ah, yes, proper burials. With the bodies you...
Can't get.
Yeah.
As close as we can get, at least.
Yeah.
But I second the vote to go back to Saltmarsh. Not only will give it time to recoup our forces, we can perhaps do some research on this Leviathan, see what shakes out of it. I know at least Helka and myself have some things to set up there.
Yes. Let's go back to the marsh that is salty.
Okay.
Why are you tasting the marsh water?
It's humid. It's in there.
Yeah.
You know, I actually never thought of that.
In character or out of character?
Does it matter?
Arguably both.
No quiero las dos. All right. As the crew turns the ship, you see relief on almost all of their faces that they are going to be returning to Saltmarsh to regroup, recuperate, and get fixed up. As the ship takes off, you all notice pretty quickly how quickly you're moving. As who would actually be at the helm?
Most certainly me.
All right, there we go. Sorok, as you were standing at the helm, you notice that the wheel of the ship actually has like it's not just like the standard pirate wheel, it actually has like 3 other wheels next to it. Each one marked with something else like altitude, tilt, and then the actual like steering wheel which turns it.
Weird, but okay.
You're an airship. You have to think in 3 dimensions now, not just north, south, east, west.
Yeah, that's why I said weird, but okay.
As you start pushing the ship forward, you realize pretty quickly that the speed your previous ship could go at is like second gear on this airship. The second gear out of 5.
My character's eyes just glisten with eagerness. As he pushes up to 3.
I'm going to look at Shinzo. I'm going to look at Shinzo with a knowing look, and then flick a copper off the side.
The copper falls, and as soon as it passes over the deck, you see a slight shimmer in the air around it, and it's gone.
Is that what it's like when you do like your godly teleport thing?
No. I don't think
Huh.
so. Is it Hawk?
No.
Yeah. No. I was like, hey, kind of made it sound like it got shredded to shit, but I don't know.
You ever thrown a quarter out of a car window?
No,
Yes.
I keep it because you know, penny grubble. Okay, I save all my money.
You see, my question is, Shinzo, what's going to happen when it hits the ground? Because it's going like super fast like our airship, and it's going to get all that speed from falling. It's going to be like, what are those things called? Those rocks that come from space. The stars.
Fallen,
You're asking the wrong person.
fallen stars, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. It might be like one of those when it hits down, just like, no more island.
Considering its size, well, probably more like, hey, look, that fish is dead. And once again, you have angered the denizens of the deep. Good job, you dumbass.
Look, I may have an intelligence of 19, but that doesn't mean I'm actually smart.
Are any of us actually smart?
Are any of you actually smart? Let's see,
Define smart.
Shinzo, hi, hello. Shinzo has an intelligence of 9. Sorok has an intelligence of 13. Ikarath has an intelligence of 13. So yeah, some of you actually are smart. Helica has an... Jesus Christ, Helica's a genius. Chantel is even smarter than her.
Okay, well that one's not too surprising.
Dingo, you do not have an intelligence of 19. Stop editing your sheet.
I have a headband of intelligence, that's why it's 19.
Oh, fair.
Otherwise, it would be a 9. I am the dumbest guy here. maybe barring Shinzo. I'm not sure about your exact number.
It's a 9.
All
All
right.
right, so I'm
Oh, so
tied.
you're on par.
As the party looks over the edge, they can see the faint glimmer of the copper coin falling, and then there's a small splash behind them,
Damn.
followed by the mournful wail of a fish as its hide was punctured by the meteoric fall of this copper piece.
You know, I thought my trick shot days were behind me, but I guess not.
All right. So, as how high of a gear is Sorok gonna put this ship in?
As I said, I'd only push it up by one more.
Up to third gear. Gotcha. As the ship takes off even further, you can see this shimmering field start to faintly ripple, starting from the bow of the ship all the way back, like a prismatic bubble of energy. Eventually, the party would, after about an hour of traveling at this insane speed, the party would soon see the Sword Coast far off in the horizon. Another hour later, and it's already close enough that you can make out the buildings of Saltmarsh as a big brown and gray blur on the coastline. The woods around it, the Phyrexian vessel hovering above it, just slowly orbiting the town's perimeter. You can see the fields where Amo grows his bees in hives. And then, as the ship comes closer, starts slowing down, I assume Sorok is going to slow it down.
Yep.
Yeah. As it starts slowing down, it starts coming to a stop. Eventually, B, would you like to make your entrance?
Sure. So eventually there is the sound of something sparking and flickering in, um, and eventually the sound of something falling with a childish scream as they land on the boat.
Ah! Oh.
Yeah. As they land, he just kind of goes, "Why is it always in the air? I'll never." Okay, whatever. And you see him uh, muddle with a thing that looks like it's attached, like actually a watch more than anything. If that There are watches in fantasy worlds. It's fine. That's fine. Um, and he's a half elf who has like very messy brown hair, green eyes, and like clothing you've probably never seen. Oh, you beat me to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just hanging out really, and as he kind of picks himself up and looks about himself, then checks a few things on the watch, he goes, "Okay, guess you're quiet again. Fine. Uh, oh, that's weird. Oh," and then, like, after noticing some different things, he realizes who's around and just says, "Oh, jumping right into it then. Hi, everyone."
So, the first people Trevor would notice are probably all of the orcs currently aiming crossbows at him, followed by
Hmm.
multiple followed by multiple lizard folk, quite a few humans and elves, and then he would notice all of the different characters around him.
It takes him a minute to, like, it's mostly the I think he notices them, but his mind is mostly on the immediate danger, just goes like, "This is awkward. Hi, I do not mean any harm. Um, any explanation I can give to you all will fail. I have learned that. I've been called a rat before because I've been stuck in walls. You know what? It's fine.
Are you a god, a lawyer, or a tourist?
Closest to 3.
Thorak is just gonna move closer, just like, well, you a wizard of any kind?
Yes. Nailed it, actually.
He was about to push the crossbows down, then just flipped his hands and started raising them back up because he's like, okay, weird wizard on my boat.
Yeah. I'm studying to be a chronoturgist at the Hikora School of... Oh, that is information you do not understand. I need to
What?
get
I don't
better
know
at that.
what.
I'm learning a different kind of magic that works with time stuff.
Oh, just like uh, one of them mech guys over back in the Oi, what was that one plane?
Like someone else is gonna have to answer. I'm not giving you this.
Wait, what? Which plane we talking about?
The one where we had to deal with like loyal crap or something.
Gear World.
Mechanist.
Thank you, that one. Although Gear will also work on that front.
So you guys have done planar travel too?
You say
He
that
just
like a
looked over
child.
at Charlotte and Shinzo. Well, they have. Definitely them. Really
Shinzo
me.
would just kind of smile. Every day.
Oh, well, then it sounds like I'm around people who kind of get it. So this watch here can help me move throughout the planes and also occasionally through the timeline of a plane. So I'm really lost.
Uh,
Believe it or not, I needed this for a school project.
At this point,
How did
Sorok.
you?
At this
What's
point,
this?
Sorok would notice that the ship is starting to pass over Saltmarsh.
Ah! Yikes!
Helico,
As he
please
just rushes back.
yeah, Helico, please
You-
continue.
I was going to ask, how did you get through the bubble on our ship?
There was a bubble.
Yes.
I
As
don't.
Wonderful protection.
as Trevor looks out across the ship, he can see a frictionless force field being projected around the vessel itself. After which he would
Oh.
immediately realize, "Oh, I'm on an airship."
Uh, oh, now I'm very confused. He then just kind of looks at everyone and just goes, so the best answer I could give you is I don't know.
And
I've been
when
there before.
Hmm?
Shinzo was said, I've been there before. You know, because he has gone places he didn't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, Shin, B. Shinzo
Mhm.
is actually, you know what? Why don't you all actually describe your characters?
Uh, let's go by order of who posted the pictures in Discord.
Word.
Sorok is a relatively shorter than average orc, though roughly around 6'1". Uh, appears to be in his hard to tell with orcs because of aging quicker than compared to humans, but he seems to be in his like mid to early 20s. Uh, has a really large beard, one that seems to be perpetually on embered, considering his effects whenever he gets pissed off. His outfit is of a stereotypical pirate, and over his left eye is a eye patch. Though there's no signs of any eye injuries, so it could probably be assumed that he's just using it for the purposes of what it could actually be technically used for, which is helping him see better in the dark.
Hmm.
And on his hip is a rather lovely looking saber.
All right. How about you, Dingo? You want to explain Amo and Bigglesby?
Oh, I gotta explain both now? Oof. So, Amo, or Amo as everyone keeps calling him, he's clearly human, and he's clearly getting on in years. Probably in his late 40s, mid 50s, maybe. It's kind of hard to tell. Average height. He has a long salt and pepper beard that you can see has been very meticulously taken care of and crafted and trimmed. I'm not sure what world the character's from, but you can probably guess it was done by dwarves.
Got it.
He's wearing leather armor that's black and yellow, very bee-like design, with a very ostentatious cowboy hat that where you would normally see the strap on the brim, there's instead a some sort of circuit that has been placed there instead. Behind him is the best way to describe it is a giant bee rex. You take a T-Rex, you take a bee, and you put them together, and that's what he's got behind him, and he's just petting on it like it's a dog.
F is very confused, but I, B, the human, am very pleased.
That's Almo.
Yep.
Perfect.
All right. And Ikarath.
Okay, so Ikarath is a completely normal human, and by that I mean he's not at all. He is a very slender, tall Yuan-ti, a dark blue shade with very vibrant yellow-orange eyes. He's got patterns on his skin that are black and sort of speckled across. And he wears a simple robe that has a hood attached, but he doesn't have it over his head. He doesn't really hide anymore. Whereas he used to try and keep it a secret that he was a Yanti, but now he just doesn't really care. And he's just very intense looking. That's about it.
Got it.
All right. Shinzo.
He is big, bulky man with a skull across his face, long, purplish hair, and that pretty much sums him up. He looks like a typical Fido man, you know.
Hmm.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Overall, he's fairly bland. Except Shinzo is a planeswalker.
Yes, that
Interesting.
too.
All right.
And well,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
I was just gonna say, and in the future, like he's going to change. Like he will not be looking like him exactly anymore.
Gotcha.
That's due to story basis. Well, backstory basis.
Alright. All right. And Miss Helica.
Right, right. Well, standing before you is how do I best capsulate? Helica is definitely a feline beauty. She has all the features and grace of what you would consider like a tabaxi, but something a little bit more otherworldly. Um, she sports all black attire and a black headdress. You would also notice that she has three eyes that blink simultaneously. Um, she is staring very curiously at this new person on their ship with a curvingly fragile smile that at times creates slight dimples and creases, yes, and just showing just hmm, like appraisingly. She looks at the new person appraisingly. Anyway, she has a shimmering blood crimson hue to her hair that is done up in a ponytail. It's quite long and it caresses the smallest of her back. Um, Overall, though, everything about this woman's countenance, it's, I would say, exotic. The way that, like, she just is eyeing everyone to see what their reactions and acting in tandem. Also something to note is her shadow seems to act independently of her, as in it doesn't move when she moves. Curious. But yeah, she's curious about this new person on the ship as she smokes her peace pipe. And that's Calica.
Elika, aka exotic Phyrexian Dom Mommy.
Perfect. Yeah.
And last but not least, we have Miss Chantel.
There is something mercurial about the air of this one, as I am currently floating with melting metal to my hands. I'm doing a manicure while we were waiting on the ship, and looking at this child, I can see with a more gleeful and devilish smile that they're harmless. You can tell by this Eastern descended woman that she is wearing traditional clothes, and her hair goes all the way down to the floor and drags like a veil. And she looks quite sprightly, though. Oh, I do love children, don't you, Helica? Do you want to have at least two?
Don't bring that up now. Later.
Oh, forgive me. And who might you be?
He just kind of looks at this whole crew of people and just goes, "Might I say, immediately, you are probably the most interesting group I've met so far, and just aesthetically alone." Uh, he says that looking at all of them and just goes, "My name's Trevor Vandross. Nice to meet you. Uh, like I said, I'm currently a chronoturgy student. I'm studying. Well, I picked it because it sounded cool, but magic about time and all that stuff. It's interesting, and it's sent me here. Usually, I have my friend who talks through the watch, but I'm not quite sure where she is at the moment, but it's fine. Um, but that's sort of what I've been up to, traveling around, meeting people, and occasionally asking a few questions. I'm debating putting all the recording footage I've put together into some sort of show when I get home. I think it'd be interesting.
Are you of noble descent?
No, that's kind of not really a thing that anymore. Like, there's just like upper class, but that's not the same thing as nobility anymore. Eh,
Huh? That's
eh.
that's
Well, didn't you?
that's
Go ahead.
insane. No, go ahead, Dingo. But I'm just a bit taken aback. But
I was just going to say, Miss Helika, you heard him. He's not nobility, but he's rich. That's how come he got into university and all that.
Hold
she
on.
she smokes her because she doesn't know how to fucking compute that.
Ikarath is just gonna stare for a second and then just say, "So, nobility isn't a thing.
It's a lot more even nowadays, I think.
I feel strange asking this question, but when are you from?"
Well, when and where are questions I don't really know yet. Rizara is usually the one who can give me that kind of info, but it's not really working out.
As
Something's
the
weird about this time.
as the ship, as Sorok manages to land the ship in the fields just outside of Amos' farm, you can look out to see the landscape of Saltmarsh around you. It hasn't frickin' changed.
Is this? Wait a minute. Are we in Saltmarsh?
Boy.
Yes.
Well, that's odd. Did you see him like fiddle with the watch a bit, trying to figure something out? He goes, "Well, now you're just messing with me." He's like talking to the device.
Why are
It,
You
you why are you talking to that trinket of yours?
oh, usually my friend is on the other line, but I don't think it's true this time. Uh, I think I'm in my home universe, just way distant past.
Home universe.
are you like our big friend here? Are you a planeswalker?
Never heard that word before. Usually, sometimes the watch. Honestly, when how it works 99% of the time is I end up in a place, I help people out with a thing, get some good questions for my show, and then when the watch is at 100% charge, it just sort of sends me somewhere else. Sometimes in a different universe, sometimes mostly it's been different universes. This is the first time I've been home, but different time. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah. Uh, so I guess if that's what that means, then yes.
Ah,
So long
if
as you got no problem with pirates.
Pirates are cool. I'm a s I'm a sucker for the look.
y- if you're from the future, that means you must have some lineage here, which could possibly lead to you being a noble.
I
Hmm.
don't know what the hang up about nobility is, but, like, sure, if you wanna test that theory out of you.
Uh,
What's your last name?
Vantros,
Ventros.
the dog is a Vantros.
good question.
It sounds like albatross.
It does. He just kind of says that and then just kinda turns to you all and just goes, "Wait, are you all on the nobility thing? Because like, I really don't know.
I mean,
I haven't done any of those ancestry things, and, like, I've seen them around, but never really looked into them."
ancest. You know what?
Ancestry.
I mean, I'm a son of a pirate,
Sea Prince.
a sea prince.
He then, like, at saying that, you notice him, like, raise an eyebrow at look at the crew over again and just go, "Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What?
If you're from my world's past, then that would dictate." And you see him start thinking about it and just goes, "Oh, interesting! I think I might know you people, vaguely." I wasn't paying too much attention in history class. You see him do the, like, hand wiggle of, like, "Eh."
No.
Hmm.
What's the future like?
Pretty mundane.
Raises eyebrow. Hmm.
Mundane to you,
Well, I
and
guess.
interesting to us.
Well, the first thing is that there's usually not a lot of need for people to go cavorting around slaying monsters as much.
What? Are you
Yeah,
saying that there's no murder hobos?
What
I
what do you
What?
do for fun?
How do you
well,
make money?
money would do jobs. There's people who teach magic. I think
He's.
I spent a summer learning about taking care of unicorns. Um,
You know that sounds like an easy task, easy thing for me to figure out what I could do. Start robbing everything that isn't protected.
that might get you arrested.
So freebooting is.
God, that's great.
Hmm.
So
What?
it's the lucky thing that I end up going around and I can't really take people is what I'm learning. But I think I might remember you all vaguely. It'll come to me.
Hmm.
I like I said, I seed out in that class.
Do you maybe recall anything about a Sea King?
That is what set me off. I think there was something about uh what was it? The Sea Lord of the Sword Coast? Uh Swath of the Ocean, big fleet. They ended up uniting multiple orc group. Oh.
I immediately give Zorok a massive high five.
Uh, I'm confused.
Oh, I think I might have learned about you. Oh,
Me?
that's weird. Yeah. Apparently you united a bunch of of groups together and made a big fleet.
That sounds about right about plans.
At least, uh, again.
You
Oh no, I'm dealing with honest to goodness time travel. Now I got to think about butterfly effects. I skipped that part. Damn it.
Uh, I don't think you really got much to worry about. Nothing really
Usually
changed
it's
on that
okay because
plan.
I'm in another world and that's not my problem. But this time it might be my problem.
But hey, at least I'm glad to know that I've probably lived longer than Azura.
Ooh.
I will PM you that in detail.
Huh.
Look, I'm not the brightest in my class. This is not. I'm real. If you were hoping for detailed information,
Mm,
Ros- honestly, Rosara should have ended up with the watch, not me. I don't. I was only put on the project because I can do good interviewing.
well, well, in this case, didn't really need to know her because I don't intend to have her be known very well. Just a rival.
Okay. Uh,
Wait,
are
where's
they?
that scribe?
Uh,
Ooh,
upon hearing that, Bookworm, a small kobold with a hat that's too big for him and a massive book, immediately rushes forward, slams the book down, looks up at Trevor. I need you to verify everything.
everything, everything.
Yes?
Starting from when and ending at where?
Yes.
Well, I was born.
Is this book still a thing? And he holds up the massive book that is titled a Bookworm's Book of the Legendary Tales of Adventure in Saltmarsh, Esquire the Third.
He looks it over and then just goes, potentially. Maybe the. I remember. Like, I've heard people call Rosara a bookworm, but that's usually as an insult.
How's that an insult?
Shrug. Then he turns around and goes, but a book about adventures in Saltmarsh is vaguely familiar. You see him like patting his head and scratching it, trying to think. He just goes, I'm real sorry, y'all. Like I said, I kind of seed out in history. I passed it, but I didn't really excel. Didn't really care to.
What do you mean by seed out?
Oh, there's like oh, you don't know about letter grades. Oh, this is a nightmare. You see him turn around and just go, how many butterflies have just turned into hurricanes? Oh dear God.
Look, Trevor, calm down. Look, I know what letters are. What the fuck are grades?
Oh, you oh that do you guys just not have school?
What's a school?
You know what? Well, you probably know what school is. What those rich assholes do.
He's right. I had to go.
Wait, those things? The things that they send kids to run stupid things? Mostly?
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
they
Well,
learn how to play
technically,
that one board game with like all the pieces and shit.
in my
tech,
time, the if it means anything, in my time, schools are much easier to get into. I'm not even
Nah,
from
you don't
that.
need school.
I'm not even from that rich of a family. It's just it's way more just sort of the norm.
Yeah, you don't need school anyways.
You're a
To
kid,
learn
you
off of the
go.
street, just like me.
All right. Stepping in here to do DM duties. At this point,
Hmm.
a lot of your crew have unloaded most of the stuff from the ship, including all of your wounded and injured members. As some members of the party
Right.
look over the side, they can see all of these injured folks being, taken away towards Saltmarsh itself, only to be met by a number of Saltmarsh's guards.
Did you guys
Uh,
piss off the law?
We saved this town multiple times.
we are the law.
That's really cool sounding, but I'm starting to doubt the validity of that.
I
Sorok
mean,
is gonna actually start heading over.
we've worked with the law multiple times, so they should. But
They don't
As
recognize the ship because they were expecting us to come back on the Black Dragon. And
True.
I don't even know the ship's name.
doesn't have a name.
Hmm.
Oh, that explains our bad luck.
But yeah, Sorok is gonna go to where the guards are stopping his crew at.
As Captain Sorok approaches, the rest of the crew in tow, as I assume, you would pretty quickly come to the come to see this group of guards who, although they're standing in the way, look like they really don't want to.
Boy, what the heck is the meaning of this?
Sorry, Captain, but we've been ordered not to let privateers into the city
What
without
those orders?
um. They look at each other. They kind of shift back and forth, not sure exactly if they should actually tell you or not. As secretly, the DM is pulling out a book for a random name.
Yes, Bizzlebang Flom Flippydoop the
Indeed.
third.
What?
Yes.
Wait, what? The fuck?
Bizzlebam Von Flippydoop the third. He's gnomish.
Uh,
Well, as that's happening, child, are you hungry?
I could eat.
She conjures out of her bag a bag of cookies and shark fin soup and some scallion pancakes because children need to eat their vegetables.
He raises an eyebrow and goes, "How did you fit all of those in your?" You know what? I'm not even. It's fine. Don't let it
He's,
get horse in the mouth.
he's a warlock.
Like after eyeing them up and down a bit, they're just like, "You're vaguely familiar. What's your name again?
Chantel,
I've heard that name before. It'll come to me."
yeah, it will. It'll come to you hard. Trust me. As finally the guards speak up, Lord Kundal said not to without his express permission, sir.
Lord who?
Lord Kundal came around right about the time your group left. I mean, we could take you to him.
Actually, yeah.
You know, I think I'm starting to see the upsides of the whole having no nobility thing.
Yeah. I'm already in approval of it anyways.
Y'all
And
are in Saltmarsh now, so
so this lord wasn't afraid of the vessel that circles the town.
no, ma'am, didn't seem to be.
Hmm.
Just came in and started taking over.
Hmm.
Let's meet this person.
Yes.
As the group is led through town, you are greeted by many cheers and exaltations as the people of Saltmarsh are just ecstatic to see that you've returned safely. As you approach the main hall where the council of Saltmarsh used to meet, you can see many of them outside bickering with each other. As you approach, quite a few of them look over. Many of them just grin as they all step aside and let you in. As your group enters the council chambers, they would find a massive brass dragon glaring down at them.
Oh,
That's not expected.
Ah,
So these are the privateers you spoke of.
Mercenaries.
That doesn't help your case.
I don't
Privateers
care what you
mercenaries.
call yourselves. What I care is what you intend to do with this town.
Protect it, obviously, you git.
His eye twitches. How
Trev
can
is like Trev is like hands on face, just like this is already going for like.
Are you aware that we got rid of the terror that was Pine Water?
I was
Or the fact that
aware
we defended it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was aware that the Dark Priest had been ousted from his domain. And I was
Were
aware
you
that the Sahuagin had been pushed away by a group of adventurers. I was aware that this entire domain had been falling apart into complete disarray. And that is why I am here.
Disarray. What
Disarray.
disarray?
Hmm.
The town is better because of us.
Is it? You have allowed these treacherous things. As he moves his claws, and you see that there are multiple Yonti corpses sitting underneath it, many of which
Oh.
have been bitten.
That's a bit
Helic,
discriminatory, on, don't you think?
I don't have to think to know what they are and what they can do.
Yeah, one of them saves my life half the time.
looks at Icar.
The actions of one does not excuse an entire cult.
Okay.
Uh, unless that one is the
well?
leader of said cult.
Were you
It does.
aware that this cult hasn't existed here for I don't even know how long? You could tell me, Ikaroth, for a long ass fucking time. The only reason you now know about it is because its current leader is trying to make them do better.
And
Hey,
why should I trust entities that worship demons?
the heck is it? Wait, do you and TV worship demons?
Scratch his
Angel
chin.
worships demons,
I mean, I give him a
although I
hard.
do have some devils under my side.
You're not helping their case.
Okay, well that didn't really help much.
I mean, you can believe me. I don't worship anything,
I
much less
mean,
a fucking demon.
in some case or another, we're all bad guys, but that doesn't mean that we're bad guys.
Uh,
I.
you know,
I
honestly,
just
in our
got
point of
here.
view, we're actually good guys because at the end of the day, we do all kinds of good things.
I just got here.
Ah, yes, the good things you do, like murdering an insane wizard and stealing his airship.
I didn't count.
Basically declaring
Uh, we,
genocide on the Drow.
we fought in self-defense in both those cases,
Exactly.
and that was an unclaimed airship. No one was there to claim it, so we just accepted it until the rightful owner is found.
You're borrowing it.
Yes, barring long term.
So, Dragon,
Dahl
what
to
is
you.
Lord Undal? Excuse me, Your Grace. Why exactly are you here when there's nothing that needs protecting or fixing? All the problems have been. And the Yonti, was that called for to dispatch of them like that?
Considering they tried to kill me first, I believe it was.
Ooh.
Well, considering that you just rolled into town and declared yourself big kahuna over everything, you can kind of see how people might not take kindly to that and might see you more as a conqueror.
Or the
Yes, what do
fact
you
that
think you can benefit this place with? Hmm?
He raises a brow and gestures with one of his claws to the council members outside who sheepishly shuffle in. Why don't you all explain what I have already done in the mere month since these individuals have left?
A month.
Yeah.
Wait,
It took you a couple of weeks to sail out there.
That took a while.
Okay. I seem to remember it being a week, but yeah, it's been a month. Got it.
Yep.
Moving on.
The council members all begin explaining certain events and situations in town, such as the dwarves step forward and tell you that the mines have never operated better ever since he started giving orders and declaring like where they should go and which parts they should mine first. The captain of the guard steps forward claiming that because of his presence, other pirates and smugglers refuse to even come near the place, meaning that crime has significantly dropped. A couple of the others come forward and tell them that his actions have also helped to boost the trade and economy because, hey, there's a metallic dragon here. It must be safe. And his own actions in revitalizing the town guard have helped to make the roads and outskirts of the town safer from monster attacks. As they go on and on and on about this, it becomes clear that, like, yeah, this guy's pseudo tyrannical control is actually doing a lot for the average population.
Okay. What about any freedom? Do the people have a right to do what they please with their lives? Do they, let's say,
We didn't before he got here. This is a feudalistic society. We're kind of tied to the land.
Jeff just kind of coughs and just goes, "History's weird."
regardless?
You may have protected this realm, but I have improved it.
From a
Then why not?
dragon?
Then
I
why
really
not let
doubt
us?
that.
Okay, clearly you don't know about metallics versus chromatics. We can talk about that later. I learned a lot when I put this hat on, by the way. Then why not let's be allies? You rule, and we protect when called upon. And we keep any activities that you might find distasteful far away from Saltmarsh.
The fact that you currently own the keep to the east, as well as that shack on the northwestern coast, is enough for me to agree to that. Keep your piracy and your privateering in the domain of the sea princes, and I will not crush you.
I personally have no problem with that, but I cannot speak for everyone else here. I am going to go get a drink at the bar, because it has been a long fucking day. Week, month, however long it's been.
Am I old enough to
I,
drink?
for one, don't exactly trust you.
You're old enough in this timeline, let's go.
I'll take it.
As Amo and Trevor head out,
Shinzo would be following them because he does love his ale. So.
all right, the three of you head out. And you, Helica, yes?
The one and only.
That is your vessel orbiting the town?
Yes, it is the Queen's consort. It's quite beautiful. I'm surprised you didn't try to destroy it.
It seems to be keeping some of the local fauna at bay. I
Hmm.
am content to leave it where it is.
She blinks rapidly. Right. Yes, and as it is my ship, I could have it any time, because I'm sure you know what I am. Being all wise and all knowing.
I will admit that I don't. But I don't particularly care either.
Ah, my little cold, unbeating heart. It's okay. Um,
He narrows his eyes at you at that.
she gives a wide Harley Quinn smile. Yes, well, oh, look at the time. I think I should be going
he
whichever way.
he lets you leave. But you can feel his gaze on your back as you do.
It caused her, like, to get the shrew, like, her shoulders rise. Chantel, come on.
Oh, okay.
Question: would Kundal have let Ikarath in the room?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure before I.
Is Ikarath trying to leave though?
He's just kind of staring at the bodies for a little bit. He's not actively trying to leave yet, but well, pretty soon. As long as there's another person there, which I think is Sorok still there? Or
Oh,
did you
he
already
is.
leave?
He's just glaring at the dragon, a little pissed. You know, there was a council, and a council is better than a single tyrant. Pirates
Clearly
function
not.
similarly.
Considering this town was in disarray after your departure, I find that hard to believe.
The town was free. It
The
was
town
up
was
to
in shambles.
that. We are not nation builders. That was the decision for the council to make on their own and for the people to decide who led them.
And the council couldn't decide on anything. I stepped in and made the decision for them.
You can't just tell people what to do.
I can, because it's the right decision.
Says who? Says.
Says me.
Oh, are you God or are you some sort of like deity that knows everything and anything? Oh, what's next?
Compared to you, I'm the next best thing.
Please, gods are terrible creatures. I should fucking know. I have a god that always looks at me every fucking 5 seconds. And I hate this fucking gods far more than any other.
What you and Grumsh do in your own time is your business.
People don't need gods or dragons telling them what to do. They need themselves to decide their own fates.
And if there is too much bickering and arguing for a decision to be made, someone must step in to make it.
That's why both sides need to make compromises. It takes time, yes, but time is what people need to understand their reality. There's no other better way than to just get along.
Why should I wait for them to accept a reality and to create a compromise when I can step in and force the compromise?
Because it removes their freedom. You're stomping on the rights of others. You just genocided a bunch of innocent creatures.
I defended myself.
I highly doubt that. You are
You
a
are wrong.
dragon. You are far more powerful than probably most people. What would... Are you really so scared of a bunch of goddamn snake men?
What makes you think I'm scared of you?
You're scared of me because
Make a
I'm...
will save.
Oh boy. You mean wisdom?
Yeah. It's been a while since I've used an actual dragon in a campaign. You are immediately cowed as you feel the full weight of his presence push down upon you, his eyes glimmering gold. They did rebel. They did fight back. And eventually, they came to realize what I was trying to do. The only ones who actively attacked me because of these choices are laying dead over there. Now, as long as your piracy stays away from Saltmarsh, I'm willing to allow you refuge here. You can keep your mansion. You can keep your fort. But if you step to me like this again, boy, I will end you. I will protect this town with my life. And no one, not Sahuagin, not monsters, or bandits, or pirates, will stop me. Have I made myself clear?
He doesn't say anything.
Good.
Karath is gonna continue looking at the bodies and simply look at Kandal and say,
As Zorok then rests a hand on Icarus's shoulder.
permission to say something, Kundal.
He nods his head to you. You feel the immense psychic pressure alleviate.
What about my Yanti? I know these attacked you, but what about the rest?
They are safe. They have not made any actions against the town or its people. They have been well-behaved citizens, aside from these rebels. They are currently safe and allowed among the rest of the population.
Understood. As my friend mentioned earlier, I have done what I could to help them fit in with this area.
I do appreciate that, Master Ikaroth. The people of this town spoke quite well of you and your group. And despite our disagreements, I do appreciate everything you have done for the people here.
He'd sort of nod and just say, one must do what they can.
Indeed.
Although we probably don't agree on everything,
I
I think
doubt
our
it.
intentions at the end of the day might be closer than you think. Thank you for your time. And he'd simply take a note of which Yanti are laying there as he walked out of the room.
Yep. The majority of the Yanti that were killed were higher up members of the cult.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. As the two of you return to the bar, you would enter to find
I would like to take Trevor to the bordello.
Oh,
If they are out of character okay with that as the setting. If not, then it can just be regular tavern A.
uh, I do not know the differences in the scenario.
Bordello is basically a fancy strip club.
I think Trev might go traditional tavern. That is not their typical thing.
Alright, yeah, the pig's blood in then. Yeah. Continue, Hawk, with your DM awesomeness.
as the group would enter, or as Sorok and Ithkarath enter the Pig's Blood Tavern, they would find Shinzo in the middle of telling an epic tale about how he killed the fishmen to Trevor.
Okay, so he's got his big old mug of ale, and he's just like swinging it back and forth as though it was his sword. He says, I charged at him and I said, I will not stop until I cut you into pieces. And he swings his mug about as he imitates how he swung his sword then. Oh, well, both. Uh, his other hand, he's just swinging too. And then he kind of looks down a bit and goes, some of them kind of missed. But that's besides the point. And then Big Fishy stabs me and I explode.
No, he
Yeah.
really did explode. Like, real, like he exploded and his body was just fucking gone, armor and everything. And Fishman was like kind of shocked as the rest of us. Right? But then, what happened then, Shinzo? Tell him what happened then.
Well, I woke up in this field and came across some people called planeswalkers. They told me I was one of them. And so I kind of figured out how I can go from one plane to another, and I got back. And thankfully, all my friends were still alive. So I am happy that they killed Big Fishy. Yes. I am very sad that I lost my fishy armor, though.
You see him nod slowly and just go, "So you can do it naturally. That's interesting. I
Oh, yeah,
need the I need the watch to do it."
that is sad. I
No,
am sorry.
I don't think it's a sad thing. I mean,
I can teach you. I will teach you.
I don't. I'm not sure how interested I am. As much as I've been enjoying my time, I gotta admit I'm a little homesick.
Well, see, if I teach you, you can go home anytime.
Wait, you can control where you go?
Yes. All I do is I think of it. I hold its image clear in both my mind and my heart, and I let my shiny get me there.
What is
His
Shin?
shiny
What
being
is
his
what is
spark.
what is Shinzo thinking about right now?
He sadly the only thing he has as an image of home and is sad is the arena pits that he grew up fighting in as a slave. So
Okay, so
yeah,
still on this plane.
yeah, it's still on this plane. Yeah.
Okay.
He nods a bit and just goes, "Huh. You know, I was not interested until you said that part. Okay, well, I might take you up on that in a minute." Uh, he turns to have has the
The entire
ha-
party is here at this point. Yeah.
yeah, okay. He just kind of turns and says, "So, what was that? Was that? Do you know that guy? Did he just show up? Like, I
Some
don't."
bloody tyrant.
It's a dragon doing dragon things. And
I don't
look,
care what it
Sor-
is.
Sorok, as much as I appreciate your commitment to freedom and I do sympathize, do you want to run this fucking town? Because I don't want to run this fucking town. I'm only here because I decided to visit a haunted house on a whim, and suddenly I'm fighting gods and shit. I don't want to run the fucking town. Let
It's for
That's
him
the
do it.
that is relatable.
it's for the
Funny
people.
because it's true.
It's it's up for the people to decide whether or not who leads them and not some bloke that thinks he's just because he's so powerful.
All right, how about this? You go get a vote from all the people, and if the majority says they don't want him here, we'll group together and kick his ass. He's just a dragon. We fought a god. We can beat a fucking dragon.
Chuck immediately looks at the power charge on his watch, like, "Am I sticking around for this one? Please say no."
Your watch is about half charged at this point, I'd say.
Yeah, he just kind of looks and just goes like, "Yeah, you should totally go for that."
Kick his
He's
Oh
ass,
well,
sea bass.
yeah,
we have
exactly.
some as he points over to Trevor, him
What?
alone.
Excuse me?
We can't risk you getting killed by accident.
No, that would probably cause a massive paradox. And also Rosario would kick your ass. Just saying. You wouldn't think it, but she is scary.
Regardless, I'd rather not risk an innocent life in it right now.
Yeah, I mean, eh, yeah, I could say I'm pretty straight and narrow so far. I don't know how many crimes I've committed. I'll count it. I'll have to think. But it's fine, because by the end of the day, I'm somewhere else, and it's like I never was there to commit the crime. So technically, I'm innocent. Except that one time I stole that pack of cards. I was like 12, and I did go back inside, pay, and cry about it.
Bill, you got a vintage blue eyes out of it, so it was all good.
It was worth it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Ain't nothing
he
wrong
just
about stealing.
he turns
I
to the
mean,
others and just
there's multiple things wrong about stealing.
I mean, yeah. Trev's about to say something, then looks at the pirate attire and just goes, "I will let you think that." And
So long as you're stealing from the dicks that don't care about the fellow man,
so
uh,
you're doing the Robin Hood thing. Got it.
I guess you could
So
call it that.
the what? Robin Hood. We don't wear. Well, I mean, Ikroth wears a hood, but we don't wear hoods.
It's a story from my time. Don't worry too much about it. Oh man, that's a third butterfly today. I'm really
Okay.
bad at this.
Don't worry, I probably won't remember this in the morning.
You know what? That's good. I can probably open up because you're all going to be too drunk to remember. You probably will forget I existed in the morning.
Well, how about you take a shot and see if you remember if you exist in the morning?
I will not because I do not want to be hung over in another dimension.
Well, that sounds
That
like so much
is
fun.
entirely understandable. I think that happened to me once. There was gears everywhere. We had to like fight a court case. It was a terrible time.
You did a court case in a world of gears. You know what? It's fine. He just kind of turns to the others and just
Actually,
goes, "Huh?
would Trevor actually know about Mechanus and how
Probably.
it's yeah.
Yeah, especially because of the Feywild and stuff as being pretty common knowledge in his day. Like
Yeah.
the inner planes are probably pretty well known, you know?
Yeah.
Especially because by his time enough adventurers had gone everywhere that there's probably a pretty apt map, you know?
Mhm.
Uh, he just kind of turns to everyone and just goes, "By the way, while you all were talking, I was thinking about trying to pull back from my history classes, and I think I remember a few more things. If you wanted to hear it, of course.
Cool.
I don't want to. I don't want you to be spoiled about your destinies and whatnot. Though I guess by the act of telling you, I am in fact changing the course of them. So take everything I say with a degree of salt.
There's more than one degree of salt here.
I personally don't mind either direction.
Well, this will be interesting. Uh, I kind of remembered. Uh, Shinzo, do you know the name Angrod?
No. Why should I?
I just remember a planeswalking mercenary in my books, and they never really went into detail about what planeswalking was, so I just kind of assumed it was a super cool magic power and not didn't really read into it. Again, I back when it was just a textbook, it wasn't that interesting to me. Um, but they were named Angrod the Warlord, I think. And that some of that story about the big fish is vaguely reminiscent. So if you ever get yourself a title, uh, remember
Hmm.
I said hi.
And crowd though.
Eh,
Someone trying to steal my identity.
perhaps.
I will crush
Again,
them as he slams his mug on the table.
he kind of like jolts from that and just goes, remember, I did barely pass that one. So I am not the authority. I could be muddling things up pretty bad. Uh I was thinking Pelika, you said what you were like what place you came from, and I do not remember it, but I heard it and it was like, that rings a weird bell, but I don't. Can you enlighten me again?
She's kicked back, wringing the blood out of a raven into her little jar. Picks it up, drinks it. Diamond deserts. Adamantum. Ugh, still.
Why is it that every time I turn to look at you, you're doing something incredibly ominous?
Oh,
She's, al- she's
I
always
need to
like
get
that.
you some fresh blood.
I thought the
I
crow
can
would
go
be
to
fresh.
Avernus in just a second.
No, I don't want any infernal blood. Jeez. No,
Oh,
no, 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 no. I'll stop. I'll just get some water. Yes, I'll do that. But yes,
He
diamond deserts. What about?
Trev
What can
looks
you
to the
tell
camera
me?
like he's on The Office. And then immediately just goes, the Diamond Deserts. I remember a place called the Sunstone Tomb.
That's in the Valley of the Kings.
There's a creature or being there that I guess is marked themselves as the ruler. Uh,
Uh, she kind of goes pale, paler than like in the. She just has a ghostly pallor about her. Her eyes shoot up to the ceiling as she. Magnus, she says under her breath.
it's been renowned to be very difficult to deal with and or kill. No one's been able to kill, but some people have struck deals. For the most part, they stay to the desert, and that spot's. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not horribly run, by what I know. Uh, but I don't. I just there's not a lot of trips there frequently, as far as I'm aware.
The last class trip there ended in tragedy. About 12 people died.
uh,
Listen,
that's why my school stopped doing
the
it 3 years ago.
the Bing that you mentioned. If that's so, then my father's victory was in vain. My father, back in his time, with his companions, fought the Bing, the this lich called Magnus, and with Excalibur, and he
Like
cl-
the Excalibur, or like a.
raises a brow. There was only one Excalibur that I know of.
The name gets kind of thrown around as uber cool magic sword in nowadays.
Yes, it was uber cool. I was able to rend the very flesh off a bone like the wind to a
That's
dandelion.
the,
Yes.
the weird thing is I don't remember them being a lich, but I mean, but you're the one who knows your timeline better than me, so
No, no, I'm that's just how it was told to me. In my conclusion, I think he was some sort of primordial. Um,
whatever was started with a P.
right.
PH? No. PR probably.
Pharaoh. He was the ancient pharaoh.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, that's probably it.
After my father slew him, the body didn't go anywhere, so we had to. Well, I wasn't there, I wasn't born yet, but seal them in the Valley of the Kings. And if you're saying your time that he's come back, then that's very sour news.
Maybe you should go back and double kill him or something. I don't know how that shit works.
Oh yes, I gotta readjust my course of actions then. Thank you for that news. That's the best thing and worst thing, honestly, I could have ever gotten.
He does the little
Wait,
two-fingered salute.
wait. What are you guys talking about that Phyrexian stuff thing?
That's the word.
Phyrexian.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wait,
that's the thing you are, I think.
That's the word. I remember that word now. I thought it
no,
was really archaic.
no, 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 no. There's no way that Magnus could have gotten hold of Phyrexian, the gift.
Remember, time travel.
Mother, I see. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Pigeon, if you'll just scoot along now.
He then just kind of turns and just goes, I weirdly enough looks to to Amo and Nicaron. Weirdly enough, I'm still drawing a blank with you two. But by what it sounds like, Amo, not really being just kind of doing your own thing sounds like exactly what you'd want to end up doing. So maybe that's good news for you.
Wait, do you know the name Bigglesby?
Just like you could see the like the math meme around the lady's head, just numbers. Eh? Mayhaps.
I'll take it. He raises a glass. And then you notice, in 3 corners of the tavern, the rogues gather huddled around tables, pretending to be alone, but they're not. And in the 4th corner, the darkest one, the tables and chairs have been moved aside to make way for Bigglesby, the B-Rex, who, as he is toasted to, just consumes an entire barrel of mead in one big bite.
He blinks and just goes, "That's going to be in my nightmares for the next 3 weeks." Anyway, that just leaves, and then he turns to Chantel and just goes, "You,
Me.
yes. Can you tell me anything about yourself? I'm sorry, racking my brain here."
Well, my history is quite vague, as I have been in a slumber for nearly 90 years.
You do not look a day over 70.
Oh, of course not, 'cause I'm quite physically 21, or more so 22 now.
I
But
didn't know how to approach that one.
it's
Apologies for
all.
heavily overselling that age.
That's fine, child. It's all to do with, well, the great mother of mine, Baba Yaga, and
I've heard that one before.
lots of other things.
I remember that word. There was a yeah. Yeah, I've heard that one. Really terrible but cool Fey Witch, right?
Indeed. And she's made my life as it is today, unfortunately, but also fortunately, 'cause I'm forging my own.
Interesting. Well, I've heard about that one. I've heard about that name before. So maybe you guys make up or something. I'm not quite sure.
Well, makeup is quite a word for it, as she smiles and plates another set of food into the front of her table. And as you see a well manicured hand floating around dancing as it feeds on itself. Oh, I think I know a way for you to get back home. I could ask my brother.
Hey, any favors I'll take.
How many times are you gonna ask him for something?
It's alright, I'll just give him the puppy face and be like, Ren, please. Like, please? And then he'll just be like, oh, okay, fine. And I'll just well, what do I do? Yeah, I think it would be good if I can just get some scrap metal, some tinkering stuff, I just want to fix things. And you know how he always is, as she disguises herself completely as a large metallical man of purple with hair going down just as long as hers. Oh yes, I am Ren, the very cool Collier Root.
The incorruptible eternal.
You are leading some very interesting lives. This is making for very good audio content.
You know,
Audio.
all of the people and family I have are pretty much now very metallic. You see, as she looks at Halika and thinking about my brother, they live for, well, ever. And me, I've yet to reach that stage. But maybe in your timeline we still exist.
It's possible. I mean, if the metal stuff makes you live forever, it's very possible. Though, if that's your way of keeping me around, I think I'll pass. I I'd rather. I do have a project to get back to. Uh, I'd rather not go the long way round, you know?
So what's of her future? What is she to do with her time?
Uh, ultimately, your time is yours to do with what you wish. I'm
Let me
just telling you. I'm just telling you what I remember. And honestly, I could be dead off. I could be super wrong about like all of those. It's very possible though. Like they're kind of starting to come back. So like, take everything I said as probably half true.
Important question, actually.
Sure.
Your version of Saltmarsh. Did
Oh,
it? How was it ruled?
well, uh, most towns nowadays have mayors, which are like people who take care of the smaller grouping and of a town, but then they answer to like a bigger council, and that council answers. It's a lot of like segmented, you know, so that everyone gets their says.
Sounds like my kind of system. But so much specifically, is it run by a mayor? This
I
mayor
think so.
system?
It's far enough away from me that I don't quite recall exactly, but I think so. I'll tell
Do
you that I
you
don't remember a dragon, if
do
that
you
makes you feel
know
better.
how it's run?
Not specifically, I just kind of assume it's run the same way that my town is, so pretty normally having like town hall councils, you know, where the citizens can come and talk out how they feel about stuff and make their decisions and things like that. It's nice. As far as I remember, Saltmarsh is still a pretty nice seaside place. Have real
Hmm.
good seafood.
Uh, is pirates still a thing? But at that
It
time,
Pirates are still around, but it's more of like an aesthetic choice for sailors than less like, well, I don't know how true that is. I haven't really done much sailing. That'd be more Bisman than me. Even though his thing's more ice. Still, he's in with all of the underground stuff.
Describe to me the architecture of your lands. What weapons do you use? Do you see us as primitive?
I wouldn't say primitive. I'd say you guys have the makings of what we use. Just, I will admit the ship is a uh, bit
Advanced.
beyond, bit advanced for what I'm expecting. But you know, we got, we still use magic, enchanted stuff. All
Do
that
you
seems
know what
pretty.
a gun is?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, they come from that place with like the war anvil people and the
Oh
emperor of like
yeah.
human peoples.
Oh, the Warforged. Yeah, they're around. They're hanging out. They're doing their thing.
Warforged? I don't know what that is. I'm talking about this one guy. He was like a priest of some sort, and he was like half machine, half something else. And he gave
Oh,
me a
that's
gun, and it shot like electricity.
oh, that sounds about accurate.
Can you tell me what the sword coast looks like? What is Waterdeep? Is it still around?
Oh, Waterdeep's still around. Still big.
No
Still
matter how,
isn't
thriving.
it?
no matter how many editions we go through, Waterdeep will still be there.
Yep.
Is
Waterdeep is just
Neverwinter destroyed?
not, if I remember correctly.
Damn it!
They're
But
they're
if there's
still
any town
hanging.
that deserves that, that'd be that place.
I don't know. They seem okay. Pretty honestly pretty mundane. Most places I know are pretty mundane now.
Wait, are they?
No big no big dragons coming in and saying, I'm in charge now.
Wait, are they still
That's
ruled
not a
by
thing.
a duke of some kind?
Uh,
Uh, one last question from me. Exactly how far would you put yourself in our time? How far back?
that's a good question.
About 3,000 years.
Shit.
He would
Oh
say he
my
would relay that. Yeah, he'd relay that and be like, so it'll be a while.
That is. He whistled again, like, ooh, boy, that's I kind of hope I could actually get immortality so that I could just see that.
It's not a bad place to be, I'll admit. As far as I know, our world used to be way more violent, have way more cruelty. But where we are now, people can just kind of be, and now we get to do
Mm,
cool. Now I get to work on cool stuff. Like this whole project was supposed to be interviewing one person from the past using a message spell, and that obviously went off the rails. But I mean, here I am, right?
relationship between orcs and elves. How are they going?
my
Are they
best friend
still
is a my best friend's a half orc.
no full like me?
Oh, well, Rosara's
Because
parents. Well,
right
Rosara's parents
now,
are orcs. So, well, at least one of Rosara's parents are orcs. So, pretty good.
mm,
We're all hanging out. There's not really a lot of divide. One of my other best friends is an Aarakocra.
well, the reason I asked is because why have a god that hates elves?
Oh yeah, the gods. Yeah.
Please tell me they're dead.
Well, as far as I'm aware, not many people care too much anymore. The people who do just kind of keep it to themselves.
Oof.
Yo,
He
yo,
just has
Oh
a
my
face of
god.
happiness.
Oh,
yo. So
Hardcore
the
atheism kills the gods.
so the people of your time are godless.
I don't say godless. I'd just say that it's not as big a deal as it used to be.
Raises eyebrow.
That sounds better.
Wait, so you guys just kind of ignore the gods who could just like destroy an entire town on a whim?
Yes,
They
we took
kind of,
your.
we kind of just got to a point where we thank them for the good they do, and that's kind of the
What
extent.
about the sacrifices?
No,
Your clerics.
What
oh,
about
there's
the
still
evil
clerics.
gods?
Oh, there's still clerics. There's still bad guys every now
Your
and then.
clerics.
No,
How do
there
you?
are. There
How,
are.
Who who heals your sick and wounded?
Ikarath is
Clerics.
just staring and taking
Yeah.
notes the entire time.
There are still clerics, but there's also doctors who
what?
use like medicine.
What the fuck's a
What
doctor?
is a doctor? That sounds weird.
A doctor is actually that one I actually know, which is just basically a guy who medically treats you
Yeah,
without magical means.
That's a cleric.
Yeah.
it's a mix now. There are clerics who can use
Non
the magic part to take care of stuff that regular medicine can't take care of. But then there's medicine which can take
But
care of regular stuff. So like if I have a headache, I don't need a heal spell. That's a little it's
yeah,
a little absurd.
Well,
yeah.
no, you need cure poison, obviously.
Hold on,
can't.
hold on. I could explain this by the fact that pirates don't use clerics. It's simple. We, when you don't have access to a certain group of people that could instantaneously cure your injuries, you just go to a group of people who are specialized in understanding how to cure those injuries.
Exactly.
Oh my god, I'm
No.
dying over here.
How do your clerics function if your people are godless?
I don't think
Then,
they're not like I said, they're not necessarily godless. They're just kind of
yeah, he didn't say they didn't have gods. They
Oh,
just wanted as
but
worship.
I could surmise that the magic isn't as potent as it is now this time.
I wouldn't know about less. Well, he shrugs.
I mean,
Uh,
considering that you're here, I would doubt that.
Okay,
I
how do doctors
Actually,
heal?
actually, I have the perfect answer to this. In Trevor's future, wizards finally figured out how to fucking cast cure wounds.
yeah, probably. He just kind of goes, "There's a magic school, so we can dabble in different kind of spells." Oh, right, that's the part you guys didn't get last time. So,
Oh
uh,
my god.
basically, imagine if a really good cleric, and a really good wizard teamed up and brought a bunch of novices in, and were like, "Hey, here's how you do this," and showed them step by step how to learn spells, and then multiply that by like a lot, and you have a school.
Interesting. Tell me about this school. I want to use that format for something of my own.
Sure. So I'm from. Well, there's
Oh
multiple.
no.
Uh,
Oh no,
so there's multiple as
that's
far
very
as I'm aware.
complicated.
He
Just
just
don't
kind
be
of
American.
he just kind of chuckles and goes, "It's as far as I know, there's different people who are pretty good at that kind of magic. There's teachers for the different schools. There's teachers for different classes. Like my friend Rosara, she was almost going to go into artifice, but then she went chronomancy. But she's still good at tech stuff. Um, Bisman's a evoker, so he's got all the cool elemental spells, but he kind of likes ice magic a lot, so that's sort of his main go-to. And my other friend Mai, she's really good at illusions, so that's like her specialty. Uh, he kind of pauses and goes, but there's all teachers like that. It's like think the way they're specialized at stuff that they like. There are people who are really good, and they're teaching the younger ones how to do that, so that way they can be as good as the older ones, and maybe even better. And that's basically the gist of school.
Oh.
I do have a question that's been burning at the edge of my mind. This Rosario person, you speak so highly of them as if they're akin to a god. Who are they?
No, no. They're just my best friend. She's really smart though.
And powerful, right? I noticed that.
Uh, yeah, she knows her way around stuff. Stuff I don't know. But I know a way around stuff she doesn't know. We work good as a team.
Do they travel like you across the multiple
No, no, she's back in our apartment.
apa-
Apartment.
Wait, you
It's a
guys share an apartment?
So,
but me and a bunch of people do. It's a way to save money.
Okay, so
but
even
how?
marriage is
You're
weird.
apart.
Okay.
Oh God, no, we're not married. We're just friends. It's fun. It's nothing like that.
I ship it.
Uh-huh.
We're not. No, we're too young for anything like that. But it's me, Rosara, Bisman, Mai, Rowan, and Hawk, and we all share an apartment because it
And
cuts
what?
down on the rent. It
And
Did you
cuts down on the
just
rent.
wait.
did you just say hawk?
Yeah, that's the name of my Eric Coker buddy.
Squints real hard, really hard.
Looks
Squint's out
really
of
hard at that
character.
pigeon.
Squint's out of character because what the fuck?
That is pure coincidence out of character. Back to in
Are you fucking serious?
Nope.
The god of this world shares an apartment with you. How outstanding! How
he
interesting!
just kind of goes. It cuts down on rent.
I don't have to worry about that.
Being a full-time Twitch streamer doesn't pay as much as you think it does. I have to shack up with a bunch of college kids. It's okay. It's not weird.
Oh, I actually have one interesting question. Now, have you ever met a being that calls himself Zangrator?
Absolutely not. I would have laughed in his face.
Would you
Oh,
like to? As all of a
No.
sudden, as if summoned, a figure in a vivid purple robe with gold trim appears behind Trevor, puts his hands on Trevor's shoulder, and just grins down at him.
I'm scared.
Oh god, here we go again.
Is
Must
Is
this
he
all
doing
the
that
time?
whine again?
I
Is
thought
this all
Zero
the time?
Dex?
I thought I felt a tremor in the space-time continuum.
Did they always do this?
It must have been a tremor, not a tremor.
I will.
I
What's the
feel
charge on my watch?
90%.
As he said that as a joke, but he does look and just kind of like
The Zangrator sits down next to Trevor and looks at him curiously. Oh, you are certainly interesting. Oh, very interesting indeed. A pleasure to meet you. I'm Zangrator, wandering chaos god and weirdo extraordinaire.
and fortune teller.
That too.
Trev,
When
Trev
I
kind of shakes their hand. Trev kind of shakes their hand and just goes, idiot kid lost in time.
clearly, you do you have any idea how many times you've broken the butterfly rule?
Probably more than I'd care to count.
17 to be precise, but who's actually counting other than me?
Probably my
Sarah
brain.
is probably counting as well.
Who?
Probably.
Zane, go ahead, Bean.
No, go ahead.
I would say that Zangrator, being the master of the fourth wall, would know that Sarah is probably counting right
Oh,
now.
yes, she is.
But Bean, go ahead.
No, I think I'll leave it to that.
You were going to say your brother was counting because he has to watch everything.
Yes.
That's actually why I'm here. It just happened. It's just a coincidence that he happened to say my name before I appeared. I wanted to warn you, Mr. Trevor. You see, I like your style. You're definitely funny and weird. And also, there's like 3 inevitables on their way to kill you.
It never what?
Oh
Inevitables.
shit.
Oh yeah, those things.
Yes.
One doesn't have to be who I think it is, right?
And your brother isn't in charge of time travel, no.
Oh, thank goodness.
Care to explain before I gotta run?
Your
Uh,
your your little your little doohickey will be charged before they get here. Don't worry. But inevitables are entities of clockwork and law. They enforce the natural order of the realm. And part of that natural order is not telling morons like this about their futures.
Oh, so I blew that one real bad, huh?
Indeed, you did. Not to worry, I've done the same thing, except I'm powerful enough to kill them, and they've learned to leave me the fuck alone.
Ah. He just kind of blinks and just kind of goes, huh. You know what's weird? This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
It is. I'm surprised they haven't come after you earlier. But
maybe
regardless,
maybe the planar stuff kind of messes with them a bit. Who knows?
probably they don't really like the multiverse thing.
Hmm?
One of them once tried chasing me all the way to Ravnica. It didn't end well for him.
oh, Ravnica.
He kind of writes that one down and just goes, add it to my to travel list.
Oh, you absolutely should. It's simply fantastic. When you're there, stop by the Blood Red Moon Bar and Grill. It's run by a werewolf. She's adorable.
What? How does everyone know about?
Oh,
He
Vato.
he kind of writes that one down and just goes, okay, add it to the list.
I need a smoke.
Almo offers to fill your pipe.
Oh, nice.
And with that, my friends, I think we will be calling this adieu. Now then, Mr. Trevor,
Yes,
I do have one very important question.
sure.
Where were you last?
Oh, that's a real good question. He starts thinking about it for a second and just goes, there was the part with, I actually need a second. Um, I I do the most recent thing I remember pretty clear. Well, huh. There was the part you see him just babble off different ideas and places and things that make absolutely no sense. And he goes, though I think if I remember correctly, the most recent thing that I went to was a village. There was a there was a barkeeper there who I talked to. He seemed pretty cool. Killian Village is I think the name.
Excellent. Well, I hope you've all had your fun with a time traveler.
Hey, is it possible you could just send me forward like a good 3,000 or am I gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way?
I'm sorry. I'm a poor fantasy illithid who doesn't understand your complicated machinery yet.
But you had
I'm s-
a
I'm
light,
I'm
a
so
saber.
I'm so terribly sorry. I don't understand how your chronometer works. Oh no.
What am I?
Yes,
As
it's
the
the old-fashioned way.
as he as Zangwator casually reaches down and starts tweaking parts of the chronometer. By the way, I have no idea what I'm doing. Good luck. Bye.
Wait,
Ha-
wait,
he's
Zangy,
he
Zangy,
he
don't go
sl-
yet.
he
I need to ask
slaps
you.
he slaps the device as it activates right upon reaching 100%.
You just like as it starts to go, he just kind of looks at everyone, does a little wave, and just goes, "This is probably gonna hurt."
You should have had a shot at least.
It's
Ah,
definitely going to
fuck.
hurt.
Dang gummit.
Did Zangrator disappear too?
No, Sangrator's still there.
Oh,
He then
all right.
he then turns, takes off his mask to reveal his tentacled face, picks up Shinzo's mug from a passed out Shinzo, throws it down, slams it in front of Shinzo, waking him up. Right? I've got inevitables to go kill, so they don't chase down the poor kid. Later, bitches.
But I wanted to ask.
Later, Tentacle Daddy.
Oh,
Can I? Can I have that saber? Can I have your red lightsaber?
Zangrator slowly turns around to stare at Helica.
Please. She gives him cat eyes. Big old cat eyes.
Ah.
Roll
Bottom.
persuasion.
Chantel sprinkles some glitter to make her eyes even more adorable.
I'm gonna burn a honey candle to make it smell sweet in the air.
Sorok, Ikarath, Shinzo, are
Yeah.
you doing anything to help this roll?
Ikarath will cause a minor illusion to create lighting that makes it even sweeter looking.
Direct on spotlight.
Hold on. Why don't you cast divine favor on her? Just like pat her on the shoulder gently as divine favor activates.
Okay. Shinzo?
Just gonna stare him down and try to
at
intimidate
this-
him.
Yeah,
at
at
this
this point, he's
point-
gonna try to intimidate.
At this point, like, literally everyone else has done their thing, and Zangrator's just kind of watching Shinzo just to see what he does.
He just stales him down, trying just to intimidate him, which I obviously failed.
You know what? You know what? The evil glare is hilarious. I love that you're trying to intimidate me. Honestly, the fact that all of you are so desperate to get a single weapon is adorable. I'll be right back. He's gone.
Damn it.
He said he'd be
No,
right
it's
back.
not.
It's fine.
It's not fair. Okay, I'm gonna
It
have
sounds-
some water.
It
Don't
sounds like
panic.
it worked.
He'll be back.
A second later, a minute later, he reappears, tosses a device onto the table in front of Helica. You owe me.
Damn it. Okay, let's see what this is. All right, and so what does this doohickey device look like? Is it
It is a handheld cylindrical device with a projector of some kind on one end and a large switch in the center, right about where your thumb would rest. Multiple
Right,
multiple plates cover pieces of circuitry within, and you can feel a thrumming power source coming from the lower part of the cylinder.
Oh my
Yes, it's a motherfucking lightsaber.
she extends her hand up because I don't want to be like just open up it wrong and it just goes through my head.
You
So
can't have a
You do
lightsaber.
reverse
It's not
engineering
even
with
the
this.
right system.
Can't we do something?
I press the button.
A shimmering blade of crimson light emerges.
Her cat eyes widen and she just stares at like whoa. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. She puts it away. All right. That's some powerful stuff there. That's some real powerful stuff. Don't ever that's yes. This thank you guys. And then she goes to hug everybody, like she brings everybody in to hug for huggies.
Big group hug.
Thank you guys. And she saw purring like and she's just happy.
Oh my god, this is
Aw.
perfect!
All right, and we are going to call it there for the evening. The rest of you will, all of your forces will be re-empowered and you'll get all your men back. There you go. Done. All right. No XP for this session. We will get more later. First of all, for watching this on Twitch, thank you so much for coming. We love to see live chat as we're playing. If you're watching this on YouTube later on, thank you so much for watching. Please consider giving us a like. If you really like it, you could subscribe. We have more good stuff coming your way. Let's see. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell. Praise time traveling boy. And special shout out to Shun and Bean for doing most of the artwork of this game. Shout out to Shinzo for doing the editing for the YouTube version of this video. If you really like what you saw, you can support us on Patreon. Link is in the doobly-doo. Special thanks to our current patrons, Sarah Boozer and Sam. And extra special shout out to B. Oh my god, thank you so much.
Hello! It was a lot of fun.
This was
I
great.
apologize for breaking everyone's minds.
Perfectly fine. I do it on a regular. I do it regularly, or at least I
I
try.
think that
Fun.
goes both ways.
B, do you have anything you'd like to give a shout out for? Do you have any links for us to follow?
Yeah, sure. So I am working besides this project, which does not have links yet because, well,
Yeah.
weirdness. We are in the opening phases of this. But if you want to see more from me, the stuff I play and everything, you can follow at Wildevere on Twitter. I am the one of the two behind the World of Wildevere TTRPG, which is a combatless, super fantasy road trip styled game, which I think is a lot of fun and a cool break from your typical combat heavy, like, or even combat centric worlds. I just wrote something for fun last year, honestly. Uh, I was the DM of the first campaign of the Frostwalkers podcast. The World of Wildevere has its own podcast where I run a campaign of that. I'm all over the place.
Nice. All right. I will have to get some of those links from you after this stream ends, so we can put it in
Not a problem.
in the description. But until then, so considering you're the special guest, I have to do our usual tradition with you, B. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So, how old is Trevor?
Good question. I think he's about so he's in basically college years, third year of college. So like 20 something.
Okay.
27 for Alf's.
Yeah.
So, okay. So what you're saying is he's legal.
Oh yes.
Awesome. How much is he packing?
Unknown.